Well, already it's the end of January, but it's time to begin thinking seriously about fishing again. Oh, sure, ice fishing in our region is just kicking into high gear for the hardy, but now is a good time to get your gear ready for the spring. And we go near Lake Erie and talk to once-ranked walleye tournament fishermen who make some unique fishing lures right now when we go out in the open. Out in the Open is brought to you by statewide abstract and national abstract companies. For 35 years, the Pocono choice when you need a real estate title research company. By Buck Hill Firearms in Mountain Home, the Northeast's #1 online retailer of firearms. By B&B Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Honesdale, a family-owned and operated new and pre-owned car and truck dealership trusted for the best price and service since 1970. By the Car Firearms Group, the #1 choice of personal carry, and the Tommy Gun Warehouse in Greeley, where you will find the largest retail showroom in the Northeast for all kinds of new and used firearms. Hey folks, welcome to this edition of Out in the Open. I'm Alex Zedok.
And I'm Joanne Zedok.
It's winter.
It's winter, and we're coming to you from a winter location. That's
Snow.
For sure. But, well, it's supposed to be that way
I
winter
know.
time.
That's right.
I told you my favorite season is fall, winter, and winter and spring.
Well, I spoke to someone, earlier this week, and they were complaining about the snow. I said, you better enjoy it now because pretty soon it'll be spring.
Exactly.
and they thought it was a little crazy, but
True.
that's the way it is. It is winter here in the Poconos, and if you don't like the winter, you can always move. Live somewhere else where it's warm if you don't enjoy this.
Oh, I love it though.
Absolutely, it's nice. As long as the ice stays off the road, we're okay.
Right.
Because, with all the different seasons, it gives us a chance to do all the things that we do in the outdoors,
Right. Mm-hmm.
There are some things you just can't do in the summer that you can do in the winter.
Yes, like shovel the snow out of the driveway.
Absolutely. But, one thing, we showed you a little bit about some gulls at the opening of the show.
Right.
And, the thing is that, they're called gulls, as it says on there. Seagulls, they're called seagulls at the shore. People call them seagulls, but they're still gulls. They're really members of the tern family. And so there are a couple different, there's 35 different species of gulls. But anyway, we see them in the parking lots up here, and we see them at the shore, and we get down to the shore, and they're fun to watch. They're noisy. They'll take a French fry out of your hand if you pause too long, at the shore. We've had that happen, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
You have. I don't even.
And it's little outdoor things like this that we put on our show that you may not see somewhere else.
Exactly right. Yep. I thought when you showed me the tape of the seagull, I just that was really good. Because sometimes there are hundreds of them in one place. It's like the birds you see up on the wire, those winter birds.
Yep.
They kind of all get right together so they can all pass the heat.
Well, the gulls, don't forget, not seagulls.
No,
we call them seagulls. They're gulls.
They're gulls.
Okay. We got a great show for you. We've got Keith Eschba, and Keith is a former walleye tour fisherman and ranked pretty good high there before he quit and started building lures, and now he's got a fantastic business, and he makes some really interesting types of fishing lures that are going to surprise you. And the blades are out of plastic, but when you see how strong they are. Don't go away. We'll be right back. It's been years in the making. Tim Flanagan's landmark upland hunting masterpiece is finally here. This new coffee table style edition, The Birds of My Life, Grouse and Woodcock, is a lifetime of extraordinary hunting experience vividly brought to life by Wild River Press. At 11 by 8.5 inches with 413 all-color pages, it contains rare photographs of grouse and woodcock, the result of spending thousands of hours in the field. This is the Upland Game Book to have and to give. Order your copy today directly from wildriverpress.com.
We're talking with Keith Esbaugh, and he makes lures, a variety of kind of lures, and has a kind of an interesting background with these lures. Keith, we're out here in western Pennsylvania near Lake Erie. You make lures, and you also have a charter business. But you started out as an artist. Wow, how did you get from there to here, and what would happen with your art?
Well, I started out going to art school. Wanted to be a wildlife artist.
Where'd you go to art school, by the way?
It's actually was in New Kensington at the Oak Ridge Academy of Arts.
Oh, okay.
And then I studied under a professional wildlife artist for 2 years. And then I found out in my 20s I couldn't sit still long enough to paint. And I got into fishing, and actually through high school I had kind of a small tackle business just to buy some fishing stuff. And then after that it progressed into this type of deal, and I moved closer to Lake Erie, started guiding, and we just started making plastic spinner blades.
You left a lot in between there, from going to art school to over here, coming to Lake Erie and fishing. You, as a youngster, tried to pursue the art field, and you did, what kind of drawings did you do? Do you pencil or?
We did a lot of black and white pencil drawings.
Okay.
I worked in wood burnings and acrylics a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I still do some paintings to this day, but that's more going to be for retirement.
Or retirement.
Yep.
But you've had some other businesses, you told me. One of the interesting things was that you said that you did was that you actually would go in and clean restaurants.
Yep, I had a cleaning business for quite a while, and pointed out all the dirty spots in a restaurant. They would hire me instantly, so it was a pretty good business.
So you went, you designed golf courses?
Yes, I worked on some of the prestigious golf courses like Oakmont Country Club.
Oh, really?
I was one of the guys that rebuilt the bunkers in that whole entire golf course.
When did you start fishing?
Oh, when I was 10.
Okay.
At least. My dad used to take us trout fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom would tell me when I was in junior high school, I would get up, walk to the trout stream a mile, catch a couple trout, bring them back, eat them for breakfast, and then go to school.
Oh, wow. That's and she's the one who kind of forced you to go to art school.
Yeah.
Right? Mom
Yep.
said go to school, you went to school, right?
She wanted me to
That's
have an education.
Okay, so you got your education there. So you started fishing a long, long time ago. That led you to get into the walleye tour. When did you start that?
Oh, that was, 2002, I believe it was. I fished as a co-angler in a couple of them, and I did really well, and I said, this is pretty easy. And then I was actually the first walleye professional out here in Pennsylvania, and it just progressed from there. I brought a lot of products out west to the East Coast and showed people planer boards and snap weights and different techniques for walleye, and it grew pretty good.
So you were on the tour for a number of years?
15 years I did.
15 years you did it.
Yes.
Now what does that entail? If you want to go on, you've got to pay certainly entrance fees and things like that, but you have to buy a boat, and you
Yep.
have to have all your equipment, you have to have all your stuff.
Yeah, I have to have all the gear, and generally they pair you up with a co-angler, so you're pretty much taking care of this person, and he's got to help you put fish in the boat so you can get a paycheck.
Okay. How do you go about doing that? I mean, you have to have a certain kind of boat, certain size or shape.
Yeah,
or,
they like you to have a little bit larger boat, not just a little rowboat.
Uh-huh.
But you have to research where you're going, and I've gone to new bodies of water that I've never been on, so you kind of have to know what you're going to do and where you're going to do it and where the fish are going to be. So it's good to have friends in different states.
Why did you pick walleye over bass?
Anybody can catch a bass. You throw something towards shore.
That's true. Walleye are a little bit
finicky.
more, a little bit more difficult. You got to understand walleye a little bit. Joanne and I fished up in Canada, and we went up specifically for walleye to a lake that was supposed to be full of walleye. Well, this was a long time ago. This was maybe 25 years ago. And at that time, they were managing the lake for walleye, and they had tons of bass. And they said, "You catch one of them bass, you throw it on the shore. We don't, we're trying to get rid of the bass out of this lake, But it was such fantastic bass fishing that, and they wanted you to take the bass, So we ate bass all week up there,
Right.
Caught very few walleye, But jigging with back then with just a yellow jig head and a yellow twister tail, bouncing that thing through the undergrowth, trying to catch them, and caught more bass. We switched to bass fishing, and I remember telling Joanne that we pulled in this little stream area, and it was a big old log and a tree stump, and I said, "You just throw that lure over there, and it's got to be a bass there." And it was the first time ever, and how you picture certain lures or certain fish that you've caught over the years,
Right.
even whatever you've done. Well, I still have in my mind, this bass came out of the water and took that lure, I'll bet you 4 feet in the air. I mean, just shot straight up, that's been implanted there. But that was one of my bass stories. What's your best walleye story?
Oh, probably one of the biggest walleyes I caught was in the Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. And it was in 9 foot of water, and we were jigging, and we hooked the fish, and wouldn't come up. And then when it came up and rolled over, it was probably one of the longest walleyes I've ever seen. And
Was that while you were on a tournament or just fishing?
we were just fishing.
Just fishing.
Yes, I used to guide into Three Rivers when I lived down there all the time. And now that I moved farther north, I'm strictly Erie.
Strictly Erie.
Yeah.
You do what, about 3-4 charters a week?
Yes.
Beside this business?
Yes.
Okay, so you're out there doing charters, and what do you fish for in Erie?
I charter for bass, walleye, lake trout, and steelhead.
How can people get information if they want to know more about your fishing up there? If they come out to of course, we're showing this on the eastern side of the state and on the internet. But if they want to contact you, what do they do?
They can go right to our website at www.dutchforkcustomlures.com or www.dutchforkfishingcharters.com.
And they can get in touch with you that way and get all the information and the
Yes.
costs and when you're available and those kinds of things. Dutch Fork Lures, custom lures. Now, you said you used to tinker when you were younger with some lures and stuff like that. How did this evolve? Where did this really start? Did it start while you were walleye fishing or before that?
No, it started, like I said, when I was in junior high school. I took a fly tying course when I was 12 years old. And I started tying flies for my dad's buddies. And then that progressed. Then the stores he worked in was the old Murphy Mart stores, which aren't
Okay.
around anymore. So their sporting goods department, he was able to get my products into the sporting goods stores, just the flies. And then we started pouring jigs and making spinner baits and got those in there. But we didn't know a whole lot about marketing at 12 years old. So we just sold the products, and when we made money, we bought a small boat, and me and my brother started fishing. And then it went on from there. Now I get a bigger boat and better boat every year.
All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about more about Dutch Fork Lures, and we're going to explore this a little bit further, and you'll find out something about some of these, what makes these different than what you are normally maybe fishing with. So don't go away, we'll be right back.
Real estate law is our business. Need an abstract title search company near Stroudsburg, Mount Pocono, Pocono Lake, Lake Naomi, Blakesley? Call National Abstract at 570-646-4110. For offices near Scranton, Clark Summit, Lake Wallenpaupack, Lords Valley. And for general information, call 570-226-6229. For 35 years helping people with real estate, we're a Pocono experience you can't afford. Call 570-226-6229.
Buck Hill Firearms, home of the $10 transfer, located at 916 Route 390 in Mountain Home, Pennsylvania. You never have to make an appointment. We're open 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Buck Hill Firearms is a full-service gun shop with on-site gunsmithing. Buck Hill Firearms NRA certified instructors are here to help you choose a gun that's right for you. Buck Hill Firearms, 916 Route 390 in Mountain Home, Pennsylvania, right next to the Mountain Home Diner. Check out the website at buckhillfirearms.com.
Don't be shy, stop by and see why so many folks rely on B&B for the best buy. Easy to find in Honesdale. We're making deals on all types of wheels. Brand new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and the cleanest pre-owned vehicles in the land. For big choices and the best buys, head to B&B, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Honesdale, where smart buyers shop first.
B&B, better and better.
To translate a vision into reality is true innovation. At Car Arms, we not only manufacture some of the most advanced firearms on the market, we build assurance and reliability through a solid history of quality. We pride ourselves on offering concealable, performance-driven firearm systems that exceed expectations time and time again. Car Arms, American ingenuity at its finest.
Hey folks, welcome back. We're talking to Keith Eschbaugh, and he is the owner of Dutch Fork Lures and Dutch Fork Charters. We talked a little bit about fishing earlier. So you go on a walleye circuit, and you're fishing a walleye circuit, and you're fishing other people's lures?
Yes, I fished everybody else's lures because I wasn't manufacturing at that time.
Okay. Did you start manufacturing while you were fishing or after?
After.
After.
Yes.
Okay, so you never really had a chance to go out and kill them with your lures?
No.
Okay, but you're doing that now.
Yes.
Everybody wants them.
I wish I was still fishing tournaments with some of the stuff we created here.
I might add here that you do two different things from what I've gathered from our conversation. If somebody has a lure like this or similar to this, and they have a specific pattern, you'll paint that pattern on a bait like this?
Yes, the customer, especially a lot of bass anglers, they'll send me an original lure that they don't paint anymore from another company, and they'll send me the lures they want painted, and we can duplicate that color onto that lure.
And this all ties in with your ability as an artist to recreate these colors and make them better.
Yes.
Improve upon what was there, right?
Yeah, because every lure manufacturer always makes one or two really good colors, and then they discontinue them, looking for something new. But we can recreate those exact colors.
And you have plastic companies that you work with that make some of these type of lures. They make them for different people, but you make some of these to your own specifications.
Correct.
And then they manufacture them, they send them to you, and you spray them. So if I go on your website and I want to order some of these, I want to order half a dozen of these, can I do that?
Yes.
Okay, how many do I have to order? Minimum amounts, or what do I?
No, we have no minimums for any of our dealers or any customers.
Okay, so people can order if they find something they really like. You can do, now you can do all kind of lures, jointed lures, all kind of things you do? Or?
Yes, I do a lot of musky lures, bass lures, and walleye lures.
And walleye lures. Okay, so you got, and here's another one that is one of your paint jobs. Now we get into, how did you develop these kinds of? They're not metal. I mean, we're talking plastic here.
Yes.
Why? Why?
Well, I've seen an opportunity. Every blade manufacturer in the U.S. made their blades out of metal, and I wanted something that would spin slower, not sink to the bottom, and I decided to try it in plastic. And so we came up with a few designs and changed a few things so that it would spin because of the light weight, because every plastic blade is half the weight of a metal blade of the same size.
Okay, and you make them in all different sizes. I mean, they go from, what do you call this size?
That's a size 8. So we make them from a size 2 the whole way up to a 12.
So there's a 2, an 8, 12?
Yes.
And there's a 12. So you make them all different sizes. Now this one actually is not transparent.
Right, that's a metallized one.
So it looks made to look like metal, but it spins slower.
Exactly.
Is that good?
Yes, because there's a lot of guys that fish structure areas, they fish weeds. So you're able to get it on top of the weeds and pull it really slow, because these will spin at 0.4 mile an hour.
Okay.
And it takes at least 0.7 to spin a metal blade of that size.
How strong are these? Can they break out this eye here?
Break it.
You can't break it? Oh, you can't break it, can you?
No,
Wow.
they're very, very difficult to break.
Okay, and so we're not worried about it breaking up here.
It will not break. The paint will not come off because the paints we use actually embed in the plastic.
Wow.
And then once we top coat them, and the way we tested them for the paint jobs is we would randomly pull a blade and we would take pliers and bend it until it snapped and try to scrape it off, and then we'll come off. We have 12 different size blades, and
Okay.
we offer, I believe, 82 different colors.
Okay.
And then we always take custom requests also. If a customer wants a
Okay.
certain pattern on the blade, we can do it for them.
But I mean, like, if I go into the store, if I go into, what store would I go into? Dick's? Or
Like a Sportsman's Warehouse.
Yes, yeah, Sportsman's Warehouse. Am I going to see just a few of these hanging there? Or am I going to see 10 of them or 20
Yeah,
or 100?
them stores usually only take about 8 or 10 different colors.
Okay.
And even though we actually in stock right now, we have probably 450 active SKUs.
Okay.
Each store, they can't carry everything.
No, I understand that, but you have about 450 active SKUs.
Right.
Made in America, everything? I mean, these are
Yes.
I mean, you manufacture everything
Yes, all
right
except
here.
for our clevises. We can't get that done here at a reasonable cost.
Hey, folks, this is an interesting kind of a concept. Keith, tell me about this. What's this little? Looks like a butterfly of some sort, but it's like it's not bent perfectly. I mean, it doesn't look like a propeller. What is that?
It's actually called the butterfly blade.
Okay.
And we developed that. We manufacture that for a company out in Minnesota, and they sell it. And we also do multiple colors on our site, and it actually is one of our top sellers right now across the country.
Is this the way it gets rigged?
Yes.
I mean,
it's-
there's nothing. We don't put a split shot or something up front here, or put anything on to hold this on.
Nope.
If I would just get, I could use a single hook if I wanted to.
Yes, if you want to put a leech or minnow in the back, you can use a single hook. This is made up for a crawler,
Okay.
and it's 48 inches long, so you need a weight up ahead of it to get it down to the depth where the fish
48
are.
inches. So here we go. Here's our loop back here, right?
Yep.
And it's 48 inches.
So a lot of people run these on bottom bouncers,
Okay.
and they'll just drag them along the bottom, and they're super lightweight.
Now,
They'll-
where would we put the bottom bouncer here?
Yeah, the bottom bouncer would connect to that.
Connect to here. So we connect this to the bottom bouncer, and this is just sitting out there.
Yep.
And you're trolling. How slow?
You control down to a 1/4 mile an hour, and that'll spin.
Wow, it's amazing. And nothing else on there, just the way that is.
Well, we put a night crawler on that one.
No, but I mean, is this the way you sell
Yes.
it? So people buy it. It's got this leader on it.
Correct.
48 inches, wrapped up in a package, and that's just it. 3 beads, 2 hooks, and this little thing here.
Yes. And
Okay.
we've trolled that. We use that in springtime in Lake Erie behind bottom bouncers.
Uh-huh.
And then when the fish go deep out in 40, 50, 60 foot,
Uh-huh.
we'll use the dipsy divers and run these behind dipsies. So those will run at super slow speeds the whole way up over 3 miles an hour.
Wow. And will this float or stay where the dipsy is? Will this come up off? I mean, not
It'll-
off the dipsy, but off of the
it'll-
bottom bouncer?
Yeah, it doesn't go up and it doesn't sink like a rock. It basically stays straight behind it.
What about pulling it through stuff? I mean,
Well, those are good for like fishing above weeds.
okay.
You can just put a split shot up ahead and just pull it
So
right
you don't
above the
have to
weed line.
bounce it off the bottom.
Correct.
You can fish depth.
Yeah,
certain
and
depth.
that's the beauty of using something lightweight like that.
And this will stay at the level you put it.
Correct.
Wherever the weight is, and just pull it really slow. Oh, fantastic. All right. You must go through 1 million beads
Yes.
or so a year.
That's one of our big things is our bead rack over there.
Mm-hmm.
We sell beads. We're the cheapest bead sales in the country.
You
And
sell just beads?
We sell just beads in 100 pack, 1,000 pack, or pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay. And some are translucent, some are solid, some are all different colors?
Right.
So
Yep.
we have all different colors of beads, and we have all those kinds of things. Oh, interesting. All right. So, what do you think about having a product where you can say, okay, this product's made in America? Is that important to you?
Yes, it is. There is one drawback with the taxes, is any lure manufacturer has to pay a 10% federal excise tax on what they manufacture, and it would actually be cheaper to have everything made overseas and brought in.
Uh-huh.
But we're just not doing it because we don't want poor quality. We want to be on time with our product. One of our top things that we do is we take care of the customer instantly. Every order that comes in, if we don't have it in stock, we paint it that day and it's shipped the next day.
Wow, so you're active, and everything is done right here.
Yes.
In the area of, is it pronounced Cochranton?
Cochranton.
Cochranton.
Yes.
Okay, an hour away from Lake Erie, and if you want to get some information about a charter, or you want to know a little bit more about the lures, you can go online, DutchForkLures.com. You can go Dutch Fork Lures Fishing.
Dutch Fork Fishing Charters.
FishingCharters.com.
Yes.
You have a nice boat, nice big. What do you have?
I have a 22-foot Ranger.
Runs good.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, love it, huh?
Love it.
Okay. All right, so that's the story on Dutch Fork Lures. And Keith, thank you so much for talking to us. Really appreciate it. We're gonna take a break now. We'll be right back.
Out in the Open is brought to you by statewide abstract and national abstract companies. For 35 years, the Pocono choice when you need a real estate title research company. By Buck Hill Firearms in Mountain Home, the Northeast's #1 online retailer of firearms. By B&B Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Honesdale, a family-owned and operated new and pre-owned car and truck dealership trusted for the best price and service since 1970. By the Car Firearms Group, the #1 choice of personal carry, and the Tommy Gun Warehouse in Greeley, where you will find the largest retail showroom in the Northeast for all kinds of new and used firearms.
Well, would you think
We told you.
we go we try to go different places and bring you all kinds of different kinds of people that we meet and the things that they do in the great outdoors. And the difference is, as we just showed, these lures, when I tried to break that spoon,
Right.
I couldn't break it. He said they had to take pliers and try to break them. So
Right.
they are very, very strong. And interesting combination, an artist and a lure and a manufacturer. So when you talk about painting some of those stick baits
Right.
or some of those other things.
Can you imagine
Well,
painting?
yeah, but he's an artist, so he's
I
been
know.
trained as an
Well,
artist.
yes,
So
right.
those are really realistic, and he makes some giant baits too.
Yes, he did.
Some
But
big
it's for our
musky
giant
baits.
fish when we catch them.
Musky baits, that people fish for and fish with. But very interesting, and you
Yes.
can go online, of course, and we have the website up there, and you can go and you can buy baits from him. You can try some of those lures and whatever else. He sells parts and pieces. And the surprising thing that you thought was interesting was when he said he sold beads by the dozen or by the pound or by
Right.
the bucket or by the
Beads.
I mean, he's all different color beads. So anyway, if you need more information, you want to go fishing in Lake Erie, he's a good guy to get in touch with, don't you think? We'll try it one day.
It was very, very interesting, and I'd like to go back and try it.
Absolutely. We'll
yes.
go do some walleye fishing.
We don't have
That'd
to
be
do any
good.
ice fishing. We do walleye
We'll
fishing.
do walleye fishing, then walleye eating.
Oh, yes, good idea. Let's do it.
Hey, folks, we hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to be here. We're going to be somewhere, but you can bet.
We're going to be out in the open.
Absolutely.